Well, I'm a Portuguese sociologist by training, and I'm a specialist in migration. First, I've studied migration to and from Portugal, and then I expand my expertise to different countries in Europe mostly, and now in some countries in Africa and South America. And I'm been part of this group since 3 years ago, and I've been participating in this very exquisite exchange of ideas, where in fact you realize that we are not agreeing in everything, so must be some sort of different points of view, and the world civilization might be a little bit too strong to define it, but at least we are in different paradigms of or different ways of seeing the world. And for us Europeans, sometimes it's very strange that we realize that other parts of the world have very strong opinions on the same issues. The Southern European countries are maybe the first globalized countries in the world. So we are extremely open economies. So we are extremely exposed to the crisis, the global crisis. In the case of my country, this has been a terrible exercise for young people to know how to survive, not for the immediate term, but in 10 years' time. So how to get a job when they finish their studies. And well, the most surprising thing, it was emigration came again after 30 years. So let's say the young generation between 20 and 35 years old, with 25% of unemployment rate, they decided to go, and so they left the country for many destinations. First inside Europe, and that was very smart because there's free of movement, so why not to move? And they moved to England or to France or to Germany, Luxembourg, traditional destinations of Portuguese immigration. But more surprisingly is they found the new destinations like Dubai, Angola, Brazil, and in some of the cases they will return, but in many cases they won't, because they will start a new life in those destinations. So the effects of this crisis will come over in not only today but in 20 years' time, when those part of that generation won't be in the country. And so we will miss them, because we will miss our brains, our kids, and there's also a demographic consequence of this, but also democratically, because they won't vote for new elections, and so young people are generally more open to new ideas. So it might turn that Portugal will become a little more conservative because of this crisis, and that's strange. For not really. Well, there are two positions, and they are in two opposite poles. Well, the Southern European countries that are sending very qualified people. We just have this idea that we are exporting the most qualified generation of ever, and we are exporting, for instance, just to give you some numbers, 10,000 nurses to England. So of course we will miss those 10,000 nurses, and well, we can produce more nurses, and that will be the right thing to do. But now you don't really know if you are investing in doctors, nurses or engineers, and then they will simply move to Germany because salaries are better there, and you can do nothing about it, because this is not a political issue, because there is free movement. And of course, Germany is very interested in recruiting these young people, because they speak languages, because they are very well trained, because they are part of the same culture. and the cost is zero for them. I think, well, I have a big hope on this new commissioner for migration. For the first time, there will be someone who will be linked to this subject directly. So I'm not confident in the person, but I'm very confident in the fact that he wants to build a new strategy for his area in the Commission. So he is from Greece, and Greece has shared with some of the southern European countries most of the problems. And Greece is really a challenge for migration because of the migration of third country nationals through Greece borders. So we will be the person in the right position. Then we need to move to a different area and think of migration as a very important investment area for all of us. So if people are moving inside Europe and they are sharing in between them the opportunities that in fact were there since Maastricht, the right to move, that's good. So if the capital move and the competencies and qualifications move, that's not bad. Well, we want to have the reverse movement. So we want to have young people from Nordic countries to come to South to study or to stay. And so we need to find a solution to that. And the solution is, in fact, it's very easy. It's investment. If you create new jobs, people will come. If you create good jobs with added value, more qualified people will come. And that's the role of Europe, in fact. We need to share the burden of the crisis in between all of us, and not only in the south or in the peripheries of Europe. And that's, of course, a political challenge that for the moment it has not been taken seriously, but in the future should be. To give you an example, Portugal is paying more in taxes and in interest to banks than investing in education and health together. So it's not possible to do this for 20 years. It's possible to do it for 1 or 2 years, but then we need to modify our situation. This forum is very important because some of the communications and speeches are very motivating. And so we can learn a lot, listen some of these people. And then it's a network event. So people will meet and talk to each other, and they will share business cards and they will share connections, and that's also important. The second thing that is important is to open to new countries. So this year it's not particularly evident, but people will come from many different places. And some countries are really exotic for some of us because we are not in contact at all time. So yes, it's very important, but there is a risk in this year's forum is to get close to himself. So we need to open to other countries. I miss in here the other BRICS. Well, there's a little delegation of China, but there's no Brazil, there's no South Africa, there's no the South. In fact, is less representative than the North, and so it's a huge opportunity for us that we are here, but it must be open to new participants from other parts of the world. Yes.